Good afternoon, everyone. We are from Team Arbitrium, and today we will be presenting our project, Project Just Say It. As you can see on the screen, this is the table of contents for our presentation, and I will be sharing with you about the problem that we are trying to address and its significance in our society. This picture clearly depicts the situation of teenagers today. Alone, anxious, and extremely stressed with no one to share their worries with. This in turn takes a huge toll on their mental well-being. Hence, through research, we found out that the primary cause of all this is the culture of comparison among these teens. Hence, we decided to come up with our challenge statement as such. How might we address the culture of comparisons and the high expectations affecting the youth's mental well-being? Through interviews, we found out that a shocking 70% of our interviewees reported to be at least somewhat stressed, with 26% of them feeling very stressed. This shows that the problem that we are trying to target is truly a significant one, and there's an urgent need for us to address this issue. A quote by Adam Ant, a famous English singer, also reinforces the same message.
There are numerous pain points which the youth of today face. One of which our target group faces is the increasing competitiveness in today's society due to the culture of comparison, oppression, and fear of expressing one's thoughts. Teenagers fear that people will think that they are weak, and the overbearing pressure and stress to perform leads to increased anxiety among youths. The most recent National Youth Council report on the state of youth in Singapore and their strides towards flourishing shows that subjective happiness among youth has been on a general downward decline since 2010. Teens are forced to do things that they do not generally consider meaningful to themselves, such as extracurricular enrichment classes, among other things, leaving them with relatively little time to pursue what matters most to them, including their interests and passions, resulting in decreased personal fulfillment in their lives. We realized that there is a pressing need to address this issue now, before the problem becomes even worse.
Now on to our solution, Just Say It. Your story, our priority. Just Say It is an online forum which aims to provide teens with a safe platform to express their feelings and experiences in order to support vulnerable youth who suffer from mental health troubles derived from the culture of comparison they face. It provides teenagers with an outlet to express their frustrations and feelings, some of which they may be apprehensive to share with their parents and to receive support and comfort from other youth. Now moving on to our solution features. Our platform values anonymity as a way to allow users to feel comfortable sharing their feelings, as well as to protect the identities of the users and ambassadors. We want to encourage a culture of peer support among youth, helping to amplify values such as empathy and companionship within youth in hopes of allowing them to be more open with their feelings. The discussions held on the platform will be moderated so as to ensure the conversations are maintained to be safe and constructive for all users of the platform. Ambassadors on the platform would receive prior training from e-modules to instruct them to provide constructive feedback and facilitate discussions. However, as you will agree with me, they are not trained to tackle severe cases such as suicidal thoughts. Therefore, a traffic light warning system would be implemented where cases which are more severe would be highlighted to the moderators and the user in question would be directed to mental health experts for professional help. Our target audience will be school-going teenagers of the ages 15 to 18 as they are one of the main users of mobile chat platforms and face the most pressure in the form of academic or social pressure.
I'll now take you through the various ways in which our solution has managed to gain traction. We kicked off in the ideation phase, where we interviewed a large number of school-going youths in order to understand and give us greater understanding of the issues that they face. We also ran our solutions by them, and the feedback we received was generally positive. However, there were certain concerns regarding privacy and anonymity, which we'll cover in a moment. Should we be equipped with sufficient resources, we will proceed to experiment with a full prototype of the website before implementing it on a large scale. From October to December of last year, we engaged in the ideation and design thinking phase before moving on to interviews to validate our hypothesis earlier in the year. If approved, we'll proceed with the rolling out of the website, engaging schools for assistance, and collecting feedback. From April to July, we will then proceed to act on the feedback and modify the website appropriately. However, we will need additional help in order to get the project off the ground, because our team does not possess the required technical expertise. Firstly, we will need to engage mental health experts in order to provide support to our users with more severe issues, including those who may have thoughts of self-harm. We will also need web designers to help to program and design the website. Lastly, we will engage school representatives to publicize our solution as a student-initiated project that it is.
Our solution has the following competitive advantages. Firstly, it addresses problems central to the lives of students, hitting close to home. Secondly, our solution prioritizes anonymity, allowing users to share their thoughts without fear of repercussions or judgment. Our moderators will be highly trained to tackle sensitive issues, allowing them to better engage and interact with the target group in a safe manner. Finally, our solution employs a traffic light system, allowing for early detection and intervention should severe mental health cases arise. So, onto our business model. We aim to preserve our status as a non-profit organization and sustain our project with grants. Our primary objective is to uplift the mental health of teenagers, and in order to achieve that outcome, we hope to rely on organizations which share a common goal, and we would be open to funding for our project. So, you may be wondering, what do we need the funds for? Firstly, 60% of our expenditure will be on website design. We plan on engaging a professional programmer to code our website in order for the user interface and user experience to be optimally catered to the teenagers using our platform. 18% of the expenditure will be on the maintenance of the website, 12% will be on publicity material, which involves Instagram advertisements, and the remaining 10% will go to engaging the services of a mental health consultant.
Sorry, Team Arbitrium. May need you to wrap up.
We will. Thank you very much. I'll just move on quickly to our future sustainability and scalability, because we found that engaging students through their educational institutions would be most effective, and for that reason, we will be going to secondary and tertiary institutions to engage the students. Now on to how we will measure the success of our project. We'll do this through qualitative evidence, through feedback form, and quantitative evidence, which would come from the number of active users of our platform. Now, I'd like to end with the overarching aim of our project, which is for no one to be left behind. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Team Arbitrium. So on to the judges for the Q&A.
Thank you for the presentation. I picked up that your service, the website, and the support service that you're providing is 24/7. And I also noticed that many youth projects are making a recommendation for 24/7 kind of support system. But if you are, the two of us are laughing because we know that in the industry, it is very hard to sustain a 24/7 kind of service. So do you have some evidence to persuade us that actually maybe we are wrong, we should work on 24/7 kind of program for the young people because you really want 24/7? What is your evidence? And the second question I have is your detection system. I like your traffic light alert code, and in the suicide work that we do, we know that that is a piece that is recommended. What is your detection system that you say that you have for your website?
Okay, I'll take the first question on what the evidence is that it should be run 24/7. So, as you know, students are actually on their mobile devices mostly out of school hours, and this usually comes maybe after 7 p.m., and that could reach until they enter school the next day. And so for this reason, they would be most likely to contemplate and just think of these things in that time out of school, out of lessons, when they are to themselves and they have time to like think about things and just contemplate. And I think that's why it's very important for throughout the night, throughout the early morning and late night, that those students have places to go to, have these forums to go to, and not because everyone else around them, their parents and all, they're asleep. There's no physical person who they can turn to for help and for advice, and that's why that forum needs to be there for the students to turn to when they need help. The second.
So yeah, as for the second question on the traffic light system and like how we define each state, right? So I think like based on these high expectations and the culture of comparison, youths actually face a certain variety of problems, which we have actually grouped into like green, yellow, and red. And so for the green, like our definition is just that like they are just feeling like a bit stressed and like they just want to like have a place to express their thoughts, like basically a rant, basically. And like these are the type of situations where like just a peer support and like help from the community will suffice. Then intermediate stage is when people are like increasingly stressed and they're starting to cause like some sort of low-level self-harm, and they are finding a bit more difficult to cope with, and that's when the therapists actually come in to help and like console them and like tell them that this is a problem that we are here and we are here to help you for it. And the red light is when like people actually get into like suicidal thoughts and like I cannot cope up with this anymore and I want to end my life. And those type of thoughts are where the helplines like police and they come in and try to assist these people to prevent them from taking such actions.
Very good. Any more further questions?
How do you plan to drive the awareness of this forum or this website?
Okay, so thank you for your question. So firstly, we would like one way we would like to reach out to the students in order to encourage them to use this app is to emphasize that we are a student-based project, because we know that as soon as we associate ourselves with sort of a government or a school or teacher, they'll feel that they are being watched, or whatever they say on this platform will become very moderated per se. It means like they can't say specific things or else they will get into trouble. So therefore, we want to emphasize the fact that we are a student-based project. We will not be partnering with any teachers or government organizations. Secondly, you can also reach out via school counselors, because school counselors are sort of I think usually most students are quite comfortable with their school counselors, so therefore they will be quite and usually people will think that school counselors are there to help them and not to sort of moderate what they say, moderate their thoughts and whatsoever. So if we propose this as a program for school counselors to utilize in order to help the schools in order to improve mental health within schools, that would be a great idea as well. Another way we can possibly reach out is via student leaders, because we know student leaders have a lot of clout, or rather say in schools in school. So we can they can sort of help us to publicize these our program as a way to help improve mental health within the school. Yeah. So thank you for your question.
Thanks.
Guess we have time for one last one.
I think it's the first time I hear that people are okay with school counselors, and I'm really happy to hear that, and I wish that is continued. That's really the case on the ground. We've heard a lot from youths. I think just one quick feedback is just I think the term confessors. You know, I don't know. I like ooh, small triggered, but so just curious about the term. This is another, maybe perhaps I don't know, in the interest of time. One thing to think about, the persona of the users that will come on to use your platform. Again, I mentioned like at Limitless, we run this platform called Safe House. And over time, I think, before we started and also over time, we have seen different personas of users who use that platform. Right, and they fall exactly into the age group that you are describing as well. So really having a good grasp of who, even before that, right, like doing this kind of mapping, that might help to support you in better towards your success of the project as well. Yeah.